Francis Lippo Lippi is an 1855 dramatic monologue written by the Victorian poet Robert Browning which first appeared in his collection Men and Women. Throughout this poem, Browning depicts a 15th-century real-life painter, Filippo Lippi. The poem asks the question whether art should be true to life or an idealized image of life. The poem is written in blank verse, non-rhyming iambic pentameter. A secondary theme of the dramatic monologue is the Church's influence on art. Although Francis Lippo paints real-life pictures, it is the Church that requires him to redo much of it, instructing him to paint the soul, not the flesh. Paint the soul, never mind the legs and arms. Aside from the theme of the Church and its desires to change the way holiness is represented artistically, this poem also attempts to construct a way of considering the secular with the religious in terms of how a holy person can conduct his life. Questions of celibacy, church law, and the canon are considered as well by means of secondary characters. Based on a real-life Florentine painter who lived from 1406 to 1469. This speaker exemplifies Browning's ability to create authentic characters for his longer poems. Lippo is capable of developing complex arguments whilst bringing a personal slant to all the goings-on in his life. He is an artist who passionately wants to paint simple beauty of human form but is put off by the constant criticism and demands of the prior and the learned who cry, "Paint the soul, never mind the legs and arms." So the main theme of this poem is that of artistic honesty. Should Lippo paint real people, flesh and all, or paint the souls of men in an attempt to lift them above things of the flesh? Basically the question being posed is, should religious art portray humans as refined creatures with soul, or should religious art reflect reality, warts and all? Browning's gift is to bring Lippo colorfully alive through dynamic use of language and ally this with genuine interaction on the street as the monk meets and tells of various people, working his way through the subject of art and personal history. Lippo's character is subtle, crafty, gossipy, astute, knowledgeable. It's difficult to tell just exactly what he's been up to in the city, but he is keen to impress his opinion on the watchmen, policemen who stop him. In one sense this is a slice of drama disguised as a poem. It could have been taken straight out of a play. Such is the quality of the monologue, He storyline and the involvement of Lippo in real life and in the arguments with his religious elders. The reader is taken in immediately because the first person speaker gets straight into action when he's apprehended by two city policemen at midnight. They grab hold of him thinking he's a monk, in the vicinity of the red light district, but he soon reveals all, in line 39, when he declares, "Yes, I'm the painter." Lippo goes on to tell them his life story. How he was abandoned as a child and taken in by those at the monastery. Most thought him an urchin, a good-for-nothing, who should be thrown out. But Lippo got used to monastic life and eventually started to draw and paint. A great many lines in this poem deal with the subject of religious art, and what it should represent and why, according to Lippo or his elders. The fascination comes in the characterful expression of Lippo which, when delved into, provides added universal interest for the reader as the monologue progresses. In some respects Lippo is the mouthpiece of Browning himself, who preferred the earthy and realistic in art rather than the ideal. It was first published in 1855 in the book Men and Women.